The mystery of Israel's supernatural understanding, God's supernatural protection. The Bible repeatedly shows that God protects His people in miraculous ways. Deuteronomy 7 verse 6 says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto Himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." Israel's protection is both physical and spiritual, often mysterious, because it relies on God's sovereign will rather than human strength. Protection is divine, not human. Often hidden, miraculous, or unexpected. Teaches reliance on God, not armies or alliances. Israel's protection in the Old Testament. 1. God's covenant promise. Genesis 12 verses 1-3, God promises Abraham that his descendants will be blessed and protected. Exodus 19 verses 5-6, Israel as God's chosen people, set apart. 2. Angelic protection. Psalm 91 verse 11, "For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways." Angels delivered Lot, Daniel, and the Hebrew children. 3. Deliverance in battles. Joshua 6, walls of Jericho fell by God's intervention. Gideon's 300 soldiers, victory by God's guidance, not numbers, Judges 7. The Exodus and the Red Sea miracle. Exodus 14 verses 13-31, God parted the Red Sea, allowing Israel to escape Pharaoh. Water destroyed Egypt's army but protected Israel. Demonstrates supernatural intervention that cannot be explained by human logic. Lessons from the Red Sea. God fights for His people. Fear is overcome by faith. Obedience unlocks protection. Walls, angels, and divine deliverance. 1. Walls of Jerusalem. 2 Chronicles 32 verse 21, God's angels struck down 185,000 Assyrians. Walls remained intact despite siege. 2. Angelic intervention. Daniel 6, God shut lions' mouths. Acts 12, Peter released by an angel. Protection often appears invisible but powerful, showing God's authority over natural and human forces. God's protection during conquests and battles. Israel defeated stronger enemies repeatedly, Joshua 10 verses 1-14. David relied on God against Goliath, 1 Samuel 17. Numbers 21:34-35, God delivered Israel from formidable giants, Anakim. Principle, faith in God produces victory beyond human capability. Prophetic promises of Israel's preservation. Isaiah 41 verse 10, God strengthens, upholds, and helps Israel. Ezekiel 36 verse 24, God regathers Israel in the last days. Zechariah 12 verse 8, Israel preserved as a divine people. Lesson, Israel's protection is part of God's eternal plan and covenant. The role of prayer and obedience in protection. Psalm 34 verse 7, angels encamp around those who fear God. 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14, humility, prayer, and seeking God brings protection. Obedience unlocks divine favor, rebellion brings consequences. Application, spiritual vigilance is part of supernatural safety. Modern fulfillment of God's protection. Despite centuries of persecution, Israel exists today as a nation. Psalm 121, God watches over Israel continuously. Examples of miraculous deliverance in history reflect God's ongoing protection. Principle, God's promises transcend time and human circumstances. Spiritual lessons for believers today. Trust God even when circumstances seem hopeless. God fights battles for His people. Angels and unseen forces act on behalf of the faithful. Obedience and prayer are essential. Faith in God produces supernatural outcomes. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear Him, and delivereth them. Psalm 34 verse 7. Trusting God's protection. Israel's supernatural protection demonstrates God's sovereignty, faithfulness, and covenant love. Believers today can apply these principles in spiritual battles. Trust, obedience, prayer, and faith unlock God's divine shield.